And he talks about like, oh, like why don't people want to be superheroes? And I'm thinking, there are a ton of people that want to be superheroes. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right, but I think there's a difference between like wanting to and taking the steps to.
Well, then
You know,
he should have worded
like
that better.
I wouldn't necessarily mind being a stage magician, but I'm not ever really going to take the efforts to do that. You know?
An
Like,
illusionist.
yeah.
Or like, what was our it in Next when he was a magician?
Oh, yeah. I forget what he called himself.
Frank Cadillac.
Yeah.
You could be the next Frank Cadillac.
Hey, welcome back, guys.
Oh my God, you
We're here.
came in so early.
No, it's cool. We got it. We're doing a podcast, and you're here to listen because we are probably the most attractive people you listen to on a weekly basis. And we are back to entertain both your ears and your eyeballs. If you look at our social media, you can see pictures of us where we've both got pretty hair and pretty faces.
That's very true. You have interrupted my whole flow. Welcome,
that's right.
everybody.
You're surprised. Welcome.
Welcome.
I came out with the energy because of the film we watched this week.
You did. That's true. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For once.
Also, I'm all hopped up on caffeine from this morning.
You're welcome.
I drank a iced coffee.
From where?
Timothy Hortons.
Timothy Hortons, our neighbors to the north.
Yeah. So Timothy Hortons actually comes in with a weird blind thing that is, I think, might be interesting to people. I have no fucking clue what their branding looks like.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that the other day.
So,
because like so many brands use red.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this. There are like a ton of things that obviously I have memory of when I could see, like McDonald's. Whoa, that's got the little Archie boy.
You might have worked there.
I did, yeah. Among, probably most people who were poor in college.
Same here.
Yeah. But like obviously like Walmart and McDonald's and like all the, typical like big box bullshit, like obviously you remember what those look like. Even, stupid small stuff, Sonic, IHOP, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are these things that are new, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, at least, since I lost my sight, that I don't even try to imagine what their branding looks like. They just exist as a name in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So like Tim Hortons or Shake Shack or Witch Witch, like those are chainy type places that just no clue.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a small clue. And because I've never made the effort to go searching around or asking people like what the branding looks like, it's just not there.
Shake Shack's branding is not what you would think it looks like at all. Like if you had an idea in your head, you're just wrong.
Yeah. I mean, here, I'll tell you, is like bubbly kind of block letters that just say Shake Shack and then a little shake cup with the straw tilted to the side,
Mm-hmm.
Boom. That's my logo.
Okay.
So, and it's yellow.
Okay.
Don't know why, but it's yellow.
Okay.
So there you go.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed I'm wrong, but like it's the same for like even people. Like I'm sure what I imagine your face to look like is miles away. And I've shown you a person before. Do you remember the person I showed you? That
Yeah.
I said, oh, I think you look like this person. And you're like, no. But it's all I've got is to imagine, right? And to break that, I need like an anchor point of something I am familiar with. So if you're like, oh, I kind of look like Condoleezza Rice or whoever, then I can start there. And you can say, imagine Condoleezza Rice if she had sharper teeth. And then boom, I gotcha.
How did you know?
But like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was a wild, like exaggerated version.
Yeah.
But like, it, like take our friend Jill. If you tell me like, start at Ellen DeGeneres, then, move in whatever direction from there. And I can arrive at, whatever image I carry with me. But if I start from nowhere, then I'm just going to make it up in my head and it sticks,
I told you, like, when Tony was younger, like even in college and stuff, that
that they look like Tom Petty.
yeah, they look like Tom Petty, and then they look like Tom Petty with short hair, and now they look like Tom Petty with no hair. Like Tony doesn't age.
Do you want to know my
Tony's
secret
an
though?
alien.
Do you want to know my secret?
You don't remember what Tom Petty looks like?
I mistakenly imagine Tom Petty looking like Harry Nielsen, which I don't know if you know who Harry Nielsen is.
No.
The lime and the coconut. I was about to sing it, but I'm not fucking doing that.
Please don't.
The lime and the coconut, jump into the fire. Shoot, what's the one about love? He's got a song about.
Just the one.
No, he's got like a song that's like really fucking sad. But anyway, so he has an album called Nielsen Schmielsen, I'm pretty sure is the album title.
Mm-hmm.
And on the cover, he's in like a bathrobe holding a cup of coffee, looking like an absolute alcoholic. That's how I picture Tom Petty.
I thought you were going to say, that's how I picture Tony. And I'm just like,
no,
you are correct.
No, because I used to get them mixed up, Tom Petty and Harry Nielsen. They're nothing alike, but I used to. And so now that's the Tom Petty image of Tom Petty that's glued into my brain. Otherwise, I have no clue what Tom Petty looks like.
Oh.
So,
in my younger days, in my less chubby days, like when I was in high school, because it's...
I think high school was everyone's less chubby days.
Yeah, I think it's totally normal to be chubby now.
Unless you were the chubby one in high school.
Yeah.
And then you lost the weight after and you are just a supermodel now. And everyone that looks you up on Facebook is like, well, son of a bitch. I'm the ugly one now.
Oh, we're not fat shaming here. Anyway, in my last chubby days, I'm just saying it in my last chubby days because, like, you can't be compared to Angelina Jolie and be a chubby girl. So, like, in my last chubby days, like, I did get Angelina Jolie a lot because, like, my lips are gigantic, as you know.
Yeah.
And she kind of has, like, a very, like, angular face. But not as many freckles. I've got
she looks like
freckly.
She looks like the PlayStation 1 version of Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
Maybe that's why they picked her.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, her face looks like it was low res. Like but yeah, so I guess all that was just to say that unless I have an anchor point, so like obviously my family and friends that I had before I lost my sight, I know what they look like. Most of them not great, but my family's beautiful. You've seen my family. But my friends, some of them need to...
some of your friends have had a glow up, okay?
Oh, yeah. At one... We're not going to name names.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's just to say that, like, that's one thing that you don't think about. And another thing that I was thinking about the other day, especially this time of year, is I sometimes forget that, like, this is so stupid, but I forget that the leaves change.
Oh, no, that's not stupid.
So, like, we'll be driving down the road and it occurs to me, oh, shit, there aren't leaves on the trees right now. And, like, it came up the other night when we were on that cemetery tour thing. And the guy said, oh, yeah, we're at the top of this hill. And when the leaves aren't on the trees, if you look down, you can see the whole city from here.
I'm so excited for that.
Oh, yeah. But it occurred to me, like, oh, shit. I pretty regularly forget, like, oh, the leaves are brown and orange right now. Right? Are the leaves all down? Or are there...
A lot of them are.
Yeah.
But because of, like, just how unseasonably warm it's been the last couple of weeks, like, I don't know. It seems to have slowed down.
A lot of them have held on to that last minute.
Yeah, but our yard is covered in leaves. Like, every inch of it's covered in leaves.
I saw posted in our community, like local community's Facebook group today, the missionaries of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormon missionaries, posted, hey, if anyone needs their leaves raked, let us know. We're just trying to do some service for the community. And I thought about messaging them.
Why? We already discussed this.
Oh, yeah. It's more environmentally friendly to let your leaves mulch into your yard and reissue the nutrients to the earth.
And it's like housing for bugs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just leave them be.
But yeah, would you like to talk about a Nicolas Cage film? You know what I think? I think if we talked about a Nicolas Cage film, it would be pretty kick-ass.
Oh, do you think that it would be pretty kick-ass
Fucking
to talk about
got
a
him.
Nicolas Cage film?
Got him. Got him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we watched Kick-Ass. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
But related to exactly what I was just talking about, I don't know what the costumes look like.
They're bad.
Okay, so we watched this on Plex.
Yep. No AD.
No AD, yeah. And so it was heavy action, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to be poking and prodding you as much because I think the nature of this movie is you kind of know where the action's going, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know what any of the costumes look like. I have a distinct memory of like what the cover of the film was, and I think one of them had like a greenish costume with like a yellow band across his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, well, yeah. Then, yeah, I have no memory then of what any of the costumes or anything look like. I didn't see the movie before I lost my sight, but I saw like, pictures and like what the cover looked like, I guess.
He's got a green costume, but it's got like yellow accents. So he's got like yellow gloves,
Okay,
and
so
like
yeah.
the name Kick-Ass is usually in yellow.
Okay, yeah. So I wasn't like miles away from being correct.
Correct.
Just he doesn't have like a yellow thing on his eyes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, I don't know. Who else is in it? Nick Cage,
Mm-hmm.
McLovin guy.
McLovin. Yep.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
Which I thought I thought she was the little girl from Little Miss Sunshine. Is that not true?
That's not true.
What's that child's name?
Abigail Breslin.
Okay. Does she do stuff now? Is she still?
Yeah, she has been in the what are they called? Zombieland movies.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot that's the same kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's definitely like
older, like
not
up,
a kid anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was also like the little girl from Signs and Definitely Maybe.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Signs was garbage. Was Joaquin Phoenix in that?
Yes.
I love him so much. Who else was Mel Gibson in that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does a person get like hit by a car?
I don't remember.
We should watch that.
No.
Why?
You just said it was garbage.
Yeah, but like, it's in like that like category of like, oh, that's a horror movie. Like basically any M. Night Shyamalan movie, you gotta see it, right?
No.
Like The Happening.
The Happening was terrible. It was even worse.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, top worst.
Yeah.
I actually read a Stephen King book this week, Cell.
Mm-hmm.
The like a super similar vibe to The Happening, where like the basic idea for The Happening is like the trees give off some sort of pollen that makes people want to kill themselves, and the basic idea for the Cell book was that
sounds like depression.
Yeah, yeah. The trees are giving everyone depression, but the basic concept for the Cell book is the same thing, except it's your phone giving you the need or want to harm yourself.
That also sounds like depression because
that's what we all
like all of our apps inside of our phones are giving us depression.
Yeah, but I've been on for a long time. I've been on this huge like Stephen King kick, and you said that the girl in Kick-Ass is in the new Carrie.
Yeah,
she's
Carrie.
Yeah. But yeah, I read Carrie 2 or 3 days ago.
I was gonna say that was your most recent one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I flew through that book, but
it's a short one.
Yeah, it was, I think 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, not to. I mean, you have read like 60+ hour books. That's not like a slant against you. I just know it's one of his shorter ones.
Oh yeah, but in general, I read, and when I say read, yes, I'm talking about audiobooks. But
that
still,
counts.
Oh
That's
yeah,
reading.
Anyone that wants to argue that like an audiobook isn't reading, can come to my address at I'm not gonna say it, but just come here and I'll fight you. I'll personally fight you.
DM us.
I was just gonna have Tony like censor it, like beep over it, but I won't go to that
Our
trouble.
address
just
is
come here and I'll beat you up because audiobooks are reading for sure. But that book was incredible. I thought it was so good. Like there is one line in that book that struck me harder than a line has struck me, and it's a very long time. But I think it'll kind of spoil things for people if they haven't read it or haven't seen the movie. So
You gotta shout out to my mom because I made you read Dolores Claiborne.
oh shit, yeah, that book was real good. And the version I listened to, I don't know who read it, but it was like a killer monologue. This lady was an incredible actress. Maybe I'll look up her name and shout her out in the show notes because it was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kick-Ass had
Speaking of
the girl
which,
the girl that was Carrie. Basic idea with this movie is what a kid wants to be a real life superhero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the first person we encounter is the person who is or becomes Kick-Ass, right?
No, he's narrating, but the person that we see jump off the building to like try to fly off the building, he's like, "That's not me. That's some like Hungarian guy or something."
Right.
So yeah, he's like narrating it. And like I don't remember when they talk about it, but it's very early on. Now this is 2010, so we were 20-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
They talk about MySpace, and I guess I didn't
yeah.
realize that like after I was 16 that MySpace was still like a thing.
Yeah. That's what I guess we were talking earlier, like if I knew when this movie came out, that's what it was. That was the thing that like struck me as when this was, which is why I would have thought like 08, 09
Yeah.
range. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I would have just like thought earlier because like to me I was like 15, 16 when like MySpace was super popular.
Right. But I don't know. I feel like there's just this transitionary period between Facebook and MySpace where people refused to move over. So it was still like kind of an active spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so where do we go from there? Like the narrator just kind of walks us through like his developing into being a super-ish hero.
Yeah, he basically talks about like he's like a misfit at school. He's one of the nerdy kids. His mom died of like an aneurysm in the kitchen. Like it shows her just like flopping her head into a bowl of cereal.
This movie is really like pretty violent.
Yeah,
like
definitely. So like dead mom, but nothing like traumatic. Average dad. There's no like Batman story there, like no one to avenge or anything like that. And he talks about like, oh, like why don't people want to be superheroes? And I'm thinking there are a ton of people that want to be superheroes. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right, but I think there's a difference between like wanting to and taking the steps to.
Well, then he should have worded
like,
that better.
I wouldn't necessarily mind being a stage magician, but I'm not ever really going to take the efforts to do that. You know?
An illusionist.
Yeah.
Or like, what was our in Next when he was a magician?
Oh, yeah. I forget what he called himself.
Frank Cadillac.
Yeah.
You could be the next Frank Cadillac, Jordan, if you just believed in yourself.
Yeah. But it's not really a matter of believing in yourself so much as like getting on stage, right? I don't know. What are the rules?
I feel like you'd be fine being on stage. I think you should be a stand-up comedian, actually.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll tell you, there is a big problem with being a stand-up comedian when you have an othering piece of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a black stand-up comic probably feels this like little push to always be joking about being black.
Yeah.
And making jokes either to other black people or to white people about black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know this comedian, I can't think of his name right now, but he has a really heavy stutter. His first name's Drew.
Carrie.
No, he's like just a small comic, but he has a service dog as well.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Lynch. Look him up on YouTube. He's really good. But I would say like typically 1 out of every 3 jokes in his act relates to him having a stutter. And it's, I would imagine for him, not in any way because he thinks that's the only way he can get by being funny, but it's people expect it. So you kind of have to give the people what they want. So like for me to go up and do like, you know, some 10-minute set or whatever, 3 or 4 minutes is gonna have to be about being blind. There's just no getting around it. Otherwise people will just sit there shrugging, like waiting for it to come, right?
What if you just don't give the people what they want?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly an option, but there's always going to be that like hovering over your head, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I've thought about getting up on stage before, like there have been open mics and stuff in the area, and like I just can't get up there and be like, I'm the blind guy, hoo-hoo, junk, and then like run it, like bump into the mic stand and be like, oh, what?
That's not funny though.
But it's funny for dumb people, you know? And like that's the right, like that's the lowest common denominator. That's the audience you go after. Why do you think like blue collar comedy like was successful in the like early 2010s? But yeah, I mean,
but then what would we do without the catchphrase "get er done"? What would we do without that?
we probably wouldn't have Donald Trump.
Yeah, probably.
I wonder if you could trace that back to like the appeal of like Larry the Cable Guy and similar.
I mean, there is pride in being like a uneducated person.
Oh yeah, but like don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily believe that like all redneck type folks are uneducated.
I just mean people who are like proud of being uneducated. I don't mean like a particular demographic or anything.
Yeah, no, there are definitely people that are proud of being uneducated, but yeah, like I don't know. I mean, how did we even get here? Talking about stand up.
We were talking about violence and people wanting to be superheroes. I said that you should be a stand-up comic. Okay, let's
Oh, the dogs are being dogs.
They're being such dogs. Frisco's being so good. He's laying on his little dog bed from work.
Yeah,
he's a good boy.
Little
He hasn't like moaned or anything even one time.
Yeah. He's not making his guest appearances.
Yeah. Frisco, why aren't you making your guest appearance? Sarah loves it so much. He's just
refusing.
like, Mother, I'm sleeping. I care not for your...
He's on strike.
For your interrogation.
So Nick Cage kind of makes his appearance shortly into this movie. Like after our main character like introduces the setup and does his first couple like
there's like a bad guy.
Yeah, does his first couple like get the bad guy things, right? Shortly after that, it cuts to Nick Cage interacting with his daughter. So Nick Cage has a daughter played by Chloe Grace Moretz, right?
Her name is Mindy.
Mindy. And what's Nick Cage's Dave? No, that's the main character's name is Dave. Nick Cage's character's name is...
I usually write it down, but he goes by like Big Daddy for most of the film, so like
right.
I just didn't...
Yeah, exactly. And Mindy goes by Hit Girl.
Yeah.
And what are there? Red Mist is another hero. And are there any other heroes that make like a brief appearance?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
Yeah. But yeah, so Nick Cage appears and it's him and his daughter doing like some training stuff where he is shooting her while she has a bulletproof vest on, like multiple times. And he's like, if you're really good and you like don't flinch at this next shot, I'll take you to get something nice or whatever. And she's like, oh, I want this very specific knife for being good. So that's where we get like these two characters are very like into superheroing, right?
His name is Damon.
Damon. Ugh. Sorry, any Damons that are listening? I don't think we have any people that listen named Damon.
Oh man, I want to go back to the cast for a second. Evan Peters is in this.
I don't know who that is.
Oh man.
Who is that? Oh shit, yeah, we talked about him. He's in
in like a bunch of the American Horror Story seasons. Is
he in the one with Maroon 5?
What?
Isn't Maroon 5 in one of the...
Oh, Adam Levine is in like a scene of the first one. Yeah, so yes. So
in my brain, Adam Levine's name is Maroon 5. First name Maroon, last name 5.
Oh my God. He also plays Peter Maximoff or Quicksilver in a lot of the most recent X-Men films. Also, funny story, in the Avengers films, the guy who plays Quicksilver is Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is Kick-Ass in this film.
Oh.
And Evan Peters is his friend in this film. So they
Whoa.
both like played that character.
That's weird. And it was superhero-y, so they both have ties to other like superhero-y stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's neat. So do you want to give me like, so you kind of described Kick-Ass's costume. It's like green with yellow accents and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What are these other, I didn't ask you because I was curious to hear you describe it like on the show.
You put me on the spot, homie.
Yeah, like what is Mindy? So Hit Girl is her name, played
Yeah.
by Chloe Grace Moretz. What's
Yeah.
her costume look like?
She wears a purple wig, and she has like like those old timey Western like face mask thingies that just go like around the eyes.
Oh, like Zorro.
Yes.
Yeah.
And her costume is like mostly purple, and she's got like,
Does she wear gloves or?
yes.
Okay.
She has a cape.
Okay.
She has like a 2-sided katana mostly, like that's her like go-to.
Ooh, I wonder if there's a name for that type of sword specifically.
Probably.
So it's like the Darth Maul. Saber.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nifty.
So yeah, she wears like a skirt, I think, as well.
Oh, that's not very good for like acrobating around.
Well, she wears like leggings and stuff underneath it.
Okay. She's modest.
Yeah.
She wears
of
modesty
course.
shorts.
Yeah, because women, right?
Mm-hmm. Gross.
Yeah, and I did tell you that Big Daddy's costume is very like Batman
Oh yeah,
esque.
You did. Yeah.
With like the like helmet that has kind of like the pointy like up near the ears.
Mm-hmm.
And Hit Girl has like a pink belt around her waist that says HG, and it's got like little pockets and different stuff to
like
hold
a utility
stuff.
belt.
Yes,
like a cop belt.
like a cop belt. Yeah. And then there's Red Mist costume that's mostly red, if you can imagine.
Right.
He wears like, if you think about like Gene Simmons makeup,
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
he wears like a face mask that is like that, like around his eyes.
Okay.
And his hair is just insane. It's very like emo, like of the time.
Right. So, do you remember his character in Role Models?
Yes.
So when you said Kiss, it made me think of
Oh
that.
my God,
like,
yes.
How they show up to the last like LARPing event.
The LARPing event, yeah.
That movie's really good. I think that's an underrated movie.
I love that movie so much. There are so many movies that like came out around that time with like the same cast that like I really dig.
Well, like that. What? I Love You, Man.
Oh yeah, I Love You, Man is so good.
What's the other? There was another Paul Rudd one around that same time that like hit kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so those are the costumes. Are any of the so we get this like villain introduced who is McLovin's dad, right?
Yeah,
he's
Red
like
Mist's
a
dad.
mafia mob type guy. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but he doesn't wear any kind of costume or anything.
No.
He's just a regular old like bad mob guy, right?
Yeah, and McLovin only becomes a superhero, quote unquote, to like lure Kick-Ass.
Yeah, to like infiltrate the superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his dad's like little crime mafia mob organization has had like some of their like drug exchanges get like busted by Kick-Ass, right? Is that the idea? Like Kick-Ass.
He thinks it's Kick-Ass, but it's actually Big Daddy.
Okay, yeah, but the general idea is he knows that a superhero is doing bad to his organized crime, and so his son, wanting to like show his dad that he can be useful, a fairly common trope, becomes Red Mist and goes and tries to like befriend Kick-Ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he does.
Yeah.
Right? Are they working together kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Right. And eventually they together go to some place where Big Daddy was. They go and try to bust up some drug deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
where Big Daddy had just killed a shitload of people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the dad of McLovin, he owned like a lumber yard.
Okay, yeah.
And so Red Mist was luring Kick-Ass there to basically like be unmasked and murdered. But Big Daddy had gotten there first
And
killed everybody inside and set fire.
Okay. And by the time our characters, Red Mist and Kick-Ass, show up, all that there's left to do is run in and grab like a stuffed teddy bear nanny cam.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Red Mist figures out that it was Nick Cage the whole time. Or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Big Daddy doing like the killing.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, it's this Red Mist guy trying to figure out how to get, how to like lure in Nick Cage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time there's this subplot going on of our main character, Dave,
Mm-hmm.
who at school has been befriended by this girl that thinks he is gay,
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, I feel like it's a little bit tropey where like you've got this boy who's got a crush on this girl and she doesn't mind hanging out with him because she thinks he's gay. So they spend a lot of time together. They have sleepovers, and the whole time
They're like naked around each other.
Yeah, she keeps making comments like, "Oh, you're not, or, you do your hair really nice. Wait, that's not homophobic, right?" Like, she keeps kind of hinting towards the fact that she thinks he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually he reveals to her, "No, I am in fact not gay." Or she says something like, "Oh, I just wish you weren't gay."
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Well, I'm not. Would you like to fuck?"
Basically.
And then we get...
And usually, like, when that's the big reveal, like, the
girl is like bitter.
like,
Like, I can't believe you've deceived me.
Mm-hmm.
That, yeah.
When she's been the terrible person the whole time.
Yeah. That's like the romantic comedy angle is like... The romantic comedy arc is as follows. Two people living relatively normally, and one of them is doing something that the other one will not like. That person eventually finds out what has been going on and becomes upset. And then the character that did the upsetting thing does something to redeem themselves. Boom, happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, we get the girl's just doesn't really mind. She's like, "Oh, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great." Because that's exactly what I just said.
Yep.
I said, "I wish you weren't gay." You said, "I'm not." Let's move on. Let's have a lot of sex on each other.
And boy, do they.
Yeah.
And then, like, every time they hang out with their friends, like, they find some excuse to, like, be off banging each other, like,
Excuse
in
me.
an alleyway.
Yeah. Can I go sneeze in the other room for 1 second? Yeah, I'll help you go sneeze. Yeah.
I've got to talk to you about the cat box.
Oh, God. What if she's listening?
She's not listening.
She could be.
She's not.
We once had an event where Ashley really needed to relay something to me in private, and she just basically yelled, "I gotta talk to you about the cat box." I was like, "What?" Out of nowhere. Like, this completely came out of nowhere, and I was like, "Okay." So I went to the other room, like, ugh.
We did not have any kind of sexy time
yeah.
anywhere. It's strange.
Yeah, which, like, we've done, whatever, that's fine. But,
whoa.
like, that wasn't the goal of that. It was, you had to tell me a thing in private, and you made it pretty obvious that that's what you wanted.
I don't know what you mean, sir.
So the main, like, what's the main conflict in this movie? The main conflict is the Red Mist's dad wants to get both Kick-Ass and eventually he finds out Big Daddy.
And Big Daddy is after him because
of some, like, past wrongdoing.
Of some past wrongdoing. Yeah, no big deal.
No, that was unclear to me. I genuinely.
Oh,
yeah.
Now I'm just making fun of you because I'm horrible.
No.
No. So what had happened was, he ended up getting framed. Big Daddy used to be a cop.
Yeah.
His partner's name was Marcus, and he got framed by this bad guy for being a drug dealer. He had to go to prison. This is Con Air 1. And his wife was pregnant.
Okay.
And then she like didn't know how to cope, so she ended up like overdosing, but they could save the baby.
Oh, shucks.
So the baby,
And that's our...
Mindy,
Okay.
was raised by Marcus until Nick Cage could get out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, Nick Cage has been giving her like this education of sorts.
How to fight crime.
Yeah, that
Okay.
Marcus highly disapproves of.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting. I kind of followed that a little bit, but it because it involved a lot of like action-y type things rather than direct dialogue.
Well, and the dialogue
was
was
a
very
little bit
vague.
Unclear. Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
The music in this movie was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought the music was really good, but because the music was good and they leaned on the music a lot, it led to a lot of scenes where action was taking place with no dialogue and also no sound aside from the music. So we got these like 2-minute stretches where it's just a good rock song, but does not in any way offer me any context for what's going on. But overall, the music was great, I thought, and the sound design just in general. Like when there was a scene change, there would be the music would cut, like hard cut to a different song or something. Like I thought the sound really supported like what could have been with audio description a really incredible movie. Like if it had the level of quality that like the Sorcerer's Apprentice audio description had, which that wasn't a good movie, but give that
what are you
level
talking about?
What do you mean?
It was so good.
Oh god. Like bring that audio description quality level to this and you would have a great movie. But so I mean I don't want to like go every single little detail through this, but where our movie ends up kind of is that Red Mist uses Kick-Ass to lure out Nick Cage and his daughter, right? There's some big thing happening and they need all of them to bring their forces together, right? And that leads us to this weird like it seems like something that would happen like obviously not this exact scenario, but seems like what would be like a more modern thing where Red Mist's dad is live streaming a hostage situation.
Oh my god.
Like so because of like the ubiquity of live streaming now, that doesn't seem too crazy, but think about it like back in 2010. Live streaming was not like a huge thing back then, so that it would have been weirder. But the basic gist is he's just trying to teach people a lesson, right? So he's got Kick-Ass all like tied up and he's just like basically gonna kill him on camera.
Yeah, he's gonna unmask him.
Okay, yeah, and then kill him, right? But who does the rescuing? The hit girl, right? Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much more complicated because there's so much action going on.
Right.
And again,
yeah.
I had no real context for the context. I had no real detail for what exactly was going on with the action there. But it was a whole lot of fighting, and at some point, Nick Cage's character gets shot.
He gets set on fire.
Doesn't he get shot first or no?
Maybe. A lot of people get shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of shooting, a lot of hitting. But for what I think is the third time, Nick Cage's character gets set on fire. The third when I say
movie.
Yeah, when I say the third time, I mean through all the Nick Cage movies we've watched, this is the third one. But he gets set on fire and dies. Right? And then Hit Girl and Kick-Ass become pals, kind of, right?
Kind of. Like, she's like, if you didn't happen, like, I'd still have my dad.
Yeah. So she's like
They have
reluctantly
to deal with that.
Yeah, reluctantly pals. So I just remembered something crazy that I watched this week that pretty directly relates to this.
Was it Kick-Ass?
Well, that kind of though. I watched this thing from this YouTuber called Atrocity Guide. I think the video is called The Rise and Fall of Phoenix Jones, or maybe The Rise of Phoenix Jones. I don't remember exactly what it's title is. Let me look here. I think I have it. Just The Fall of Phoenix Jones. Not The Rise and Fall, just The Fall of Phoenix Jones.
That sets us up.
Yeah, so Phoenix Jones was a real-life superhero here in America. He had a super suit. He would walk around and listen. I think he used like a police scanner. Mm-hmm. This video was really well made, though, the Atrocity Guide one. Mm-hmm. So if you search YouTube just The Fall of Phoenix Jones, you'll find the Atrocity Guide.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, put it in the show notes. It is an incredible video.
Did you hear that? He's directing me. Put it in the show notes.
Yeah. But he like had a girl in his superhero crew that he eventually went on to marry. And there were like other superheroes that would assist him. And there was a supervillain that started making videos online and they got into a fight. But he made this like suit. So he had like a cosplay costume designer design the suit, right? To look all superhero, right? Mm-hmm. Then he sent it to a ballistics company and had them put like bulletproof panels in like the arms and legs and chest and back. So he was legitimately like Batmaned out. And I guess the suit cost him like $10,000.
Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, Phoenix Jones, look it up. And actually that Atrocity Guide channel is really good just in general. This isn't like a paid ad or anything, but I just really like them. Mm-hmm. But they had another one about this weird group of people called the Breatharians.
Oh yeah, you told me about
who
that.
are people that just like don't eat food, like, or they claim to not eat food. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, if you enjoyed the movie Kick-Ass and ever thought to yourself, gosh, I wonder if anyone's ever really done that. Holy shit, someone did. And his name is Phoenix Jones. Go look that up. It's really good. But how, like, what was the final scene? It was
they go into like the bad guy's lair, essentially. Kill everyone. They bazooka the bad guy out the window.
Her action scene, the little girl, hit girl, her action scene here, like as she's moving through the bad guy lair, seemed a lot like a Kill Bill type.
Oh
scene,
yeah,
where she is just like absolutely busting through this place, destroying everything in sight, and anyone that even comes close to her is just destroyed. And like I kept picturing it in my head as the Kill Bill, I think, is it volume 2 where she fights Go-Go?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember it. Either way, the Kill Bill scene when Beatrice fights Go-Go. Because you said she has these like knives on the end of a little cabley thing too.
Yeah,
so
they're like
similar.
retractable.
Yeah. But so we get that whole thing, and then once they're finished there is when our main character or Kick-Ass and Hit Girl basically talk, and he's like, what are you going to do now? You're 12 years old. Are you just going to go live by yourself? And she reveals that she's got $3 million and a shitload of guns and weapons and stuff. So she isn't that our final scene, is her like loading up and packing her bags and stuff to get out of town?
No.
There were like 4 final scenes to this.
Yeah,
like
there were several final scenes.
The way that the music kept cutting was like the way that the music cuts to the credit music. And so I kept thinking that was it. But so what's the scene after she packs all her stuff?
The scene after she packs all of her stuff is like her driving him like in the car to the place.
Oh yeah, she's a 12-year-old driving a car.
Yeah, and he jetpacks her away. Oh yeah, there's the jetpack. I totally forgot about the jetpack. This is what happens when we watch a movie that we actually enjoy.
Yeah. And I'm fine with that. Like, I just thought that in general, like, typically the things that I put down in my notes are things that are like bad. So I didn't find myself taking a whole lot of notes.
I try to like take notes of like what's happening so that I can like summarize better, but man,
this was just good. Yeah, I just had a good time with it.
Yeah.
But so he flies off with her in the jetpack, and then what is our true like ending moment here?
I think that it's like them together at the end. I don't know. I really don't remember. I don't remember what the last one is at all.
Yeah, either way. So without like whatever our final image is, it's kind of a happy ending for everyone. except for Hit Girl, whose dad dies, Hit Girl's dad, who dies, Red Mist's dad, who dies, all the henchmen.
Oh, our last scene is Red Mist turning around at the desk and like putting a different mask on. So I think he's gonna be the new like super villain.
Right, to avenge his father,
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah.
There we go. Jogging my memory.
Which that is all to say that there is a Kick-Ass 2. I don't know that we're going to be able to do an episode on it, though. We might just do like a short episode or just touch on it in a future episode, because I don't think Nick Cage can be in it, right?
Maybe in flashbacks.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, did you look on IMDb? Is he in it?
I can do that right now.
Because so Nick Cage's character dies in this movie, and we were talking about how we should address that sort of thing, like if there's a movie and then a sequel to it. Well, like early on when we talked about National Treasure and National Treasure 2, I didn't know what the plot of National Treasure 2 was, and I assumed maybe that we were supposed to be under the impression that like Nick Cage's kids. Do you remember talking about that? When I thought that it was going to be like just a whole new cast.
Yes.
So how do we deal with that if there's a sequel and Nick Cage isn't in it?
I already told you. All we have to do is just watch it for fun.
Right, but do we cover it on the show at all?
I guess if people
just
want
like
it.
mention it, yeah.
Also, I just want you to know that McLovin's supervillain name is the Motherfucker.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a cool name for a supervillain. But I mean, it makes sense given that the first, Kick-Ass. But yeah.
Jim Carrey is in this one. See,
Ooh.
Okay. I thought that Jim Carrey was in the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Did you ever see Mystery Team?
You mean Mystery Men?
Mystery Men, that's what it is.
Yes.
Wait, is Mystery Team... I think Mystery Team's the Donald Glover movie.
I don't
with his
know.
like comedy crew. But yeah, Mystery Men.
Yes.
Where Dane Cook
is the waffle guy. Yeah.
Who's the the main character in Shameless? Whatever that guy's name
William
is.
H. Macy?
Yeah, he's in Mystery Men as well.
Yeah. He's got the shovel.
Yeah.
And
Such a dumb
Baby
movie.
Bowler.
Yeah, I don't
Eddie
remember.
Izzard is in that one.
geez.
Greg Kinnear. Of course, Ben Stiller, Janine Garofalo. I watched that movie a lot as a kid.
Yeah. I don't remember it very well, but I just remember was Dane Cook as the waffler. Yeah, that was funny. But do you have a rating for me? What's your rating? You always ask me, but since I introed this episode, I'm going to make you tell me. What was your rating?
Oh, my goodness. I gave it a 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
I gave it a 6.
Wow. And you loved the music so much.
Yeah,
That's what you think a really good movie ranks as a 6?
No. And we've talked about this in the past, is if it had audio description, I would give it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
But because we weren't able to watch it with audio description, and I don't know for sure that it's not out there, so I have to give it a 6. I can't do it,
Mm-hmm.
So, but as a movie, I would probably give it like a 7 or a 7.5. But because I wasn't able to experience much of it, I have to just let it stand. It's a 6.
Okay.
I'm guessing IMDb gave it like an 8, 8.5.
7.6.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of trivia for me?
I do.
Okay.
Did you know that the Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds just went on sale?
Again?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I told you like a handful of episodes ago that it just sold again. Because there were like 12.
There were like several of them.
Yeah, there were like 12 of them. Did one of the main ones go on sale?
Mm-hmm.
Like 300 million?
I
I don't know.
I think you have to actually contact the company.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to buy it?
It's in German.
Oh.
I'm on the
Nifty.
website and it says the original movie car from the movie Only 60 Seconds Left.
Oh boy. Okay.
I love it so much. No way. There are 72,000 miles on this thing.
So
Ugh.
get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for low mileage, good fuel economy.
Same here on a 67, whatever she is, Ford Mustang.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that kind of relates to the fact for last week's episode, that Rolls Royce Phantom belonged to Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, he probably owns some of the cars that were used in Gone in 60 Seconds, right?
Only 60 seconds left.
Only 60 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you got some money laying around, we should get
Yeah,
it.
well, if you want to donate it to the show, like if you want to buy it and donate it to the show, feel free to reach out, sideattendant@gmail.com.
We would love that.
You can get a hold of us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just @sideattendant.
Mm-hmm.
I think on Facebook it's @sideattendant podcast, right?
I think you can just type in @site attendant and
Okay.
it's good to go.
But yeah, reach out to us specifically about donating that car to us.
Mm-hmm.
But also reach out to us just because you're friends and friendly and you want to say hello.
Yeah. You should tell your friends that they should also want to donate this car to the show.
Yeah, we love hearing from you. And we encourage you to reach out or, tweet at us, whatever you feel like doing.
Any weird, like, blind stuff, go ahead and ask us.
Yeah, if you have any strange questions that you'd like to know.
Or not strange questions.
Yeah, just everyday normal questions. Get a hold of us. Let us know. In the spirit of the main deal of this film, I wish we had a MySpace to let you guys know where to go, but I don't even think, are they doing MySpace anymore?
I think bands have used
Oh,
MySpace
it's like a music,
mostly, yeah.
But yeah, you can't reach out to us on MySpace, but you can on the platforms that I just said. And you can find this podcast on pretty much any podcast platform. You can also, if you're like a YouTube person, our episodes are posted on YouTube, usually a few days after they're posted on the main podcast platforms. You got anything else? Any other housekeeping stuff for the kids out there?
I don't.
All right. Love you. Bye.